All right, hi, I'm Jeff Leinecool. I am, hold on, my mic is off. It's starting off great. Hello, my name is Jeff Leinecool. I am the TV and film teacher here at Little Elm High School. I'm here with Max Atikinson, one of our band directors.
Yeah, associate band director.
Associate band director, all right. And we're gonna sit here, we're gonna play some video games while he goes over what to expect from band this year. So, you ready to play?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, and I think we talked about playing Mario Kart, right?
Sure, the old style.
But we're gonna play Super Mario Kart,
right?
Not the Mario Kart that some of these kids are gonna know.
Mario Kart 8 or whatever we're on now.
Yeah, exactly. So, as we're doing this, if you have any questions for us to answer, please leave them in the YouTube comments, or you can tweet us. And we should be able to get that tweet and hopefully be able to answer the questions at that point too. So feel free to do that. In the meantime, so what's going on with band?
Well, we just recently started up our summer camp for this season. Basically, now I think a week and a couple of days ago, we brought in our leadership team to get stuff going for the start of the season, which has been shortened significantly.
Yes.
Because of COVID-19 and all the different protocols that are happening. Our competition season is essentially been told that we're not going to be able to do it.
Okay.
Many of the governing bodies, like UIL, they are hosting some of those events, but they're very limited and very different. Even with how the football schedule is happening for all of our games and things, we're just all limited in what we can do, so we're going to try and figure it out. But it's good to get back and see the kids again for summer band.
Yeah, so I'm curious to just sort of know, like, okay, what's a normal band year comprised of? Like, if I'm a ninth grader, what can I expect from band?
So if it's your first year coming from middle school and you're coming into high school, especially if it's a totally regular year, then you're in for a crazy treat of how different middle school band is from high school. You know, you're so used to just being in the classroom and you're just doing like regular music stuff, and then suddenly you're thrown into marching band before school even starts.
Sure.
You know, you don't even know what's about to hit you and all the different things that are going to happen. You start off with way more friends, it's more interactive, there's just more to it, you know?
Sure.
But...
I don't know the buttons which here. Okay, B is to go.
Yes, B is go. Try to figure out where the jump is there. Oh, okay, that's start. You know, those middle school kids, they're gonna really see what high school band can offer once they can be in marching band.
Sure.
It's the way that we really connect the best. And it's different than what happens in middle school.
So what does middle school band entail here? Is it just learning the basics? You're in a room, you're playing, but high school is where you get outside and march?
Yeah, I mean, when you're in middle school, you're just trying to get a hold of the instrument and figure out how that works and what you can do, musically and what is possible. But as soon as you get to high school, now that you have a little bit more facility on the instrument, you're able to do more things. It's not just learning scales and fundamentals and things like that. We get to go outside, we get to actually do performances that, adults, I say that in that way, adults would more be able to appreciate it and be a part of it.
Sure.
And the marching aspect is huge.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh no, I got laughed at the end. Good job. When you go in from that and the first thing you do is marching band and you meet all these new people. You're in a group with people that are 3 years older than you, and they're inviting and they're welcoming and they want you to be a part of it. And you're in it as a team, and it's a group of 200 kids, and you are all in it together for the same purpose.
Yeah.
That is, it totally changes the aspect of what you had been doing when you were in band, and you're just sitting down and you're trying to figure out, what finger is this for saxophone or whatever it happens to be. So it's pretty cool, and that a typical year, it'd be completely different. We would have started doing summer band stuff before August.
Oh, okay.
We would have started at the very last week of July with our leadership team people, and then the new people coming in. Then we'd have a week-long freshman camp, and then we would have full band camp for 3 weeks. You know, where we're learning drill and getting ready for our UIL competition. So it's definitely lightened for us.
How many people make that American Pie story?
Oh, I mean,
Too many.
it has to happen every time. I mean, whenever I tell people I'm a band director, I teach music. I mean, it can't be anything but that.
Right. So, what are we, like, are you measured on those UIL competitions? Or not measured necessarily, but I mean, is that your bread and butter? Is that what you guys work for at those camps? Or like the summer, is that what you're preparing for?
Yeah, so, I mean, UIL is basically how we determine how your marching band is graded, just like any other sport that is competitive like that. You go in for a region marching contest and an area contest, and then there's a state contest, of course. And that's kind of what you're working for. That's at least for your competition season. But of course, it also, you know, you're doing stuff for marching band, for football games and stuff like that, and being part of that program as well as, you know, parades and stuff in the community. There's a lot more than just doing competition stuff, you know.
Sure.
All the rehearsals and whatnot.
Now, isn't your football routine though the same as, isn't that your practice time for your competition?
Yeah, I mean, that's another performance opportunity that we have, for sure.
Do you guys do any actual concerts? Like in the dark auditorium, with lights on and stuff?
Yeah, we do those a little bit in the fall. Near the end of the season, usually is when that's more happening. So our UIL happens usually in October. At the end of October is kind of where that occurs for marching season. And then directly after that, once we have seen how far we're going to place, like are we going to area, are we going to the state, are we going to whatever happens to be. Once that's over, then we start our our indoor season. And that's when we go into more traditional like concert settings. And I'm terrible. I'm doing awful.
I will say, you know, I was telling you a little bit before we started how I was also in band for a little bit in my life.
Sure.
And really, I mean, well, honestly, I think we started in 6th grade, but you know, we did a football thing. We marched during football, but it was one routine. It was not long. You know, one song. I think we did like Jurassic Park.
Okay.
You know, like, you know, it wasn't a big thing.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned like we did a lot of parades. We did a lot of concerts. I think we did like 3 concerts a year. One thing was like we called band review, which was where, you know, it was like a play almost. You know, I think one year we did like Grease.
Oh, okay, like more modern music.
Yeah, and then we had 2 concerts, a winter and a spring. That was like the stuffy, you know, lights down.
Sure.
Director has the white gloves on.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's definitely old school.
Yeah.
We're no more white gloves. We're a little bit more modern than that.
Whoa!
Yeah, don't fall off. You can fall off on this, man.
Boy, yep. I will not be doing this one.
This one I can actually do okay on here, once I don't take that crazy shortcut.
Yeah, I did a mushroom jump.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we start our indoor season after competition season is done, and we have a fall concert, we have a Christmas concert, a holiday type concert.
Sure.
Usually we have like kind of like a mid-spring concert, or pre-UIL is what we call it. It's just a concert that's more for the parents, but it's to show all the work that we've done in all the bands. You know.
And how many bands do you have?
We currently have 3. We have our symphonic wind, symphonic band, and wind ensemble, symphonic winds and symphonic band. Those are our 3 ensembles that we do stuff with, not including our percussion ensemble, color guard. Just different elements of the program. But yeah, we put on 3 or 4 concerts a season, plus the marching stuff. So
now, from what I know, just because I had a couple of my class, our color guards.
Yeah, our color guard is nationally ranked. They're ridiculous, actually. So I couldn't believe it. You know, I remember when I was at my old school, like looking down, and I'm seeing like all these major schools that I like recognize as being like top tier programs. You know, super crazy. And then looking at the top, and I see Little Elm High School, and I'm like, wait, we're like number 3 in the world for like our level. You know, national level. I was like, wait, what? What's happening? You know, I couldn't believe it. So now getting to come here and teach, it's pretty crazy. And I see the work that Kristen Zotti put in. I mean, she's an incredible director, and those kids, they work. They put in the time.
Yeah, they sure do.
So,
so what does band look like now? I mean, what do you guys have to do now? I mean, school's kind of weird, to say the least. Are you guys, you know, and band's kind of a weird thing, because, you know, I played baritone.
oh, cool. Yeah, I played euphonium all. That's what I play, yeah.
All right, sweet. Yeah, so I played baritone when I was in high school. You're literally just blowing through this instrument, making
Correct.
sound. That's what sound is. So how do you play and do this whole COVID thing at the same time?
Well,
Or is that just kind of what everyone's figuring out?
there were some studies that were done on band instruments and wind instruments in particular, you know, like what happens with the air particles and how they move. Yes, you're pushing a lot of air through that instrument, but if you'd ever played and you put your hand through the top of the bell, you know that a bunch of air isn't being like blasted out like
Correct.
a bazooka. It's not like coming out crazy like that. The only instrument really where it was a big concern was flute.
Really?
Because flute, of course, there's nothing that stops the air. They're blowing right over the tone hole. So a lot of that air particle was going forward out into the air. But everything else, it was relatively controlled by the instrument. So that was at least what the studies had shown for some wind instruments. So we're not too concerned about that. Yes, we're still keeping our social distancing. We have little X's put down in the band hall 6 feet apart. Where stands and chairs are at, so all of our ensembles are spread super wide, which is hilarious.
And you guys have a lot of room in there.
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 band halls, and Mr. Neal will be upset. It is not a percussion hall, it's the second band hall. But we have enough space that we can spread ourselves effectively and still keep our social distancing. And we are having kids keep masks with them at all times, even when they're sitting in their chairs. So if instruction is happening and they're not actively playing, that means it is time to mask on.
Nice.
Kind of thing.
Now, what do you do with the trombone spit valve? Because I remember those being gross.
Yeah, so when you're releasing moisture from the instrument, yeah, it definitely happens. You have to be careful with that. We actually have purchased, like 12 of those kind of smaller trash cans, and we're gonna line them with like towels. And we're going to have kids empty their spit in there. It's going to be obnoxious because they are going to have to stand up and like move towards those kind of communal things, but we'll wash those, launder them, and that'll be how we attempt to at least control partly some of that stuff that's going to be happening. But yeah, there is moisture that's going to have to be emptied, so.
Someone on here requested that we play Smash Brothers, but I mean, we can. I just think it's Smash Brothers, but we'll do it.
Sure.
I don't know if this is the last one, or did we just finish that?
I think we might have tied.
All right. Well, that's a good one then.
Oh, here it is. No, this is the final.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
All right, so we got to finish it out, see who wins now.
See, I always push A to go.
Not B, yeah.
Oh, there's always.
The coins make you go faster, right?
I believe they do. Oh, this is like a figure 8.
Oh yeah, it's got like a jump. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be different. There's concerns, and right now even, while we're doing marching band stuff, I mean, if we have our entire ensemble together for marching band, like we normally would, we don't have enough space in a single room to be producing stuff. So right now we're cut down into our families, like doing mixes between every other day is woodwinds or brass. Our percussionists are at Lakeside Middle School right now, doing their stuff. The color guard is also at Lakeside, but they're in separate areas. So yeah, it's definitely interesting how much like we're trying to space out.
Sure. And then you're just kind of hoping everything melds together when you need it to.
Yeah. We're going to have our first full ensemble rehearsal on Friday, but we're not going inside. We're doing everything outside.
Just right out here?
Yeah, it'll be at the high school.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so we're excited to see that.
Oh.
Yeah, come check it out. I mean, it's going to be early in the morning. It's going to be 8 to 11. But
No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. And then, so is that's kind of what everyone wants to be doing? Is this kind of disjointed?
yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the programs around us and what's happening, a lot of our Frisco schools, let's go, first place. A lot of those Frisco schools, they're doing something similar to us. You know, of course, we're part of Denton County, so Mr. Felice has been in a lot of meetings with, you know, health officials and school officials up in those areas on what their marching bands are doing.
Yeah.
And we're trying to keep everything, you know, consistent across the board. So.
I think you got me.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Darn it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we'll play around with Smash Brothers here as we move on. But yeah, so now band is throughout the day. Do you teach anything other than band? Or is it like, you know, multiple classes and then you have practicing or something? I don't know. Practice rooms? You guys have practice rooms?
Well, we do have practice rooms, but it's not a class, unfortunately. Yeah. We have 3 bands, of course, like we already said. So those are 3 periods that we start in the day. I teach a general music class, music appreciation. That happens for a 4th period. And Mr. Felice then teaches a fundamentals class, which is basically it's an individual practice time that Mr. Felice is overseeing to give them goals and specific areas how to improve. And then Mr. Felice teaches the AP Music Theory class.
Okay.
And then starting this year, him and I will be going over to the middle school to also teach a beginner class over there on our preferred instruments, either trombone or euphonium or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, what's your preferred instrument?
Well, I play euphonium and Mr. Felice also plays euphonium, so we'll probably be teaching the low brass classes.
And are there any other bands? Is it just 2 of you guys, or do you just do that in accordance with middle school? Band?
Yeah, the band directors also are part of it. Crazy. I can't be Jeff, that's you, I guess.
Yeah. Well, these are all people that play. You make your own name.
Yeah,
Don't be Micah.
be Micah.
Well, you know, the very last day of school, right before spring break, you know, a lot of kids weren't here all day. I don't know if you noticed that or whatever, but you know, kids weren't here. So, from one of my classes, I said, we'll just have we'll just play Smash Brothers, but we have to stream.
Sure.
And so the kids agreed to that, and we started doing that. And of course, kids from my math classes were like, "Oh, I'm gonna come in and, you know,
find out on what's happening."
Yeah, and you know, if I was a good teacher, I'd probably be like, "Hey, no, you're in math." And instead, I was like, "Yeah, sure, come down here." And then they started playing, and it was.
I used to be pretty good at this game.
Yeah. Well,
sorry about that. Oh, I should have edge guarded.
I was never really good at this game, and of course, the kids in my class were good at this game.
Oh yeah, I mean it's an old game. I played this when I was in high school.
On 64?
I played the 64 version, but I got really good at the GameCube version.
Okay.
And it was on Melee.
The first, I played it on 64. Was the first time that I played this game. And I was telling Parker earlier today when we were doing this. I never was allowed to have a system.
Didn't believe in video games?
Correct.
I gotcha. It's unfortunate.
Yep, very unfortunate. Which is kind of hilarious because now that's all I want to do. You know, is play video games. So had they just allowed me to play some video games,
that thing gonna explode, right?
I don't know.
Try to throw you into it. Yeah.
I can't get it to.
You might need to push the same button you used to bring it out.
Oh.
Perfect. That's what I wanted.
But yeah, so I wasn't able to. But when I played this game on 64, my best friend had GoldenEye. That was
oh yeah, 007 GoldenEye.
That's what we all play.
Me and my sister used to play that all the time. Even with that iframe. But yeah, I'm excited to get the band stuff going again. Honestly, it's hard to teach band online.
Right.
It's very difficult actually. But
I think still won't be. I'm the same way, man. I'm ready to go. You know, I know some teachers don't mind the online thing. I just can't afford it.
yeah, I think it's hard for us too. I mean, we're so used to interacting with the kids and being like part of it, using our hands and talking to them in that kind of way. It's a little different than like a math class where they're gonna have an assignment, you can record a demo lesson and then be online for them. Don't get me wrong, that's helpful and all that, but
we had oh geez, that thing ricocheted back.
yeah, it's a reflector. No. Oh, you're down one.
Yeah, I'm down one. No, I'm dead too bad. You gotta do it again. You gotta do it again.
Trying to spike you.
Yeah. We had
yeah.
Mission complete.
yeah. So band then obviously is returning this Friday for your first full thing.
Yep.
And then after that, I mean, we have regular classes. So, is band, I assume, is one of those classes where you have to
In school.
be in school to do?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's extremely difficult to teach someone an instrument over Zoom. I mean, as you can imagine, music is, sound over time.
Right.
And internet connections and technology doesn't allow for time to be made, perfectly correct.
Right.
So it's really hard to get, one of the most basic fundamentals of music being rhythm, right? Timing and stuff. To get that correct, it's too difficult. So we have our kids come in, and we have a lot of kids electing, honestly, to come in just for band class and then leave.
Okay. And so do you have
Band is first period, second, and third.
Okay,
All
so
in a row.
right in the row there. That's nice. Is that how it's always been?
Uh-huh. That's a pretty common practice in a lot of places.
My band did well. My band did fifth grade.
Oh,
I only know that because it was common practice to take a double one.
Find a way to get that extra bonus in there. Oh,
that's what we did.
yeah, got lucky.
You know what's messing me up right now is pushing up doesn't make me jump. I actually have to hit
Yeah, the Y button.
the Y button.
Yeah, that's most people do it with that Y button.
I don't know why I thought.
Yeah. I used to play this character a lot as a troll. He was good back in Project M when I played him a little bit. Oh! I can start throwing this. Oh, you reflected it! Oh my god!
Oh,
There
what?
it
I
is.
shot my gun!
Came up to meet it with the hammer.
Well, listen, I mean, what else? Do you have anything else that you want to say about your program or band other than you're just excited to get going? And
I'm excited to get going, and I really do. I genuinely hope that we get to stay at the school as long as we're staying safe with all of our protocols. Because again, I don't look forward to teaching music online general music, okay, yeah, I can understand. Like listening and understanding how to use your ears and expanding your personal philosophical whatever connection with music, that's easy. That's a little bit, that can be done, on your own time when you're having to listen to different things. You're listening from R&B and hip hop to like 1700s classical to, whatever happens to be, to gamelan ensembles from India. Okay,
Sure.
that's fine. But I can't help a clarinet player sound better without me being able to look at their face, see their face, help their fingers, listen to their sound as it happens, So I'm hoping that we get to stay for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same exact way.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even just like, we're sitting in the studio right now setting this up. Sure, I can sit on Zoom and it's the same way I can talk about film, but that's not as fun as producing it and doing it and doing the production part. So I'm with you 100% on that. But thank you for coming in and hanging out, and I think this was really cool. I have a couple more teachers coming up.
Cool.
Tomorrow, so if you guys like this, just some teachers playing video games, tune in. If you have any teachers that you want to see, let me know. I can find them in the building and hopefully they'll do it. No promises though. But otherwise, yeah, thanks for coming in and sharing a little bit about band, and we'll see you guys hopefully on Friday out there in the parking lot.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.